Fox News has now confirmed Saudi King Salman will, in fact, skip the May 14th summit of the Persian Gulf leaders at Camp David. The announcement comes just days after the White House had just confirmed the king would be in attendance. The Saudi government is confirming that the king's son, Crown Prince Mohammed, will instead lead that Saudi delegation. It's very different than the king actually coming here himself. The Camp David summit is meant to help the U.S. reassure our allies in the region about the ongoing nuclear talks with Iran. Now, Pat, I'm going to go back to you. As I understand it, this is an embarrassment for this White House.
No, it's a slap in the face. Friday, they got up and said, oh, the king's coming. And then the Saudis decided to send them a message by having the king not come. And by the way, and what it sends a message about is the fact that they don't trust this administration on what they're doing with Iran. They're already moving to massive nuclear proliferation to protect themselves. And I think that shows you just how incompetent this president and how ill-regarded he is, that our major ally in the region isn't going to come, besides Israel, but I mean our major Arab ally. And this is going to affect oil and everything else.
You think it will?
Well, it has to. I mean, I think you can't miss that message. And I think the others coming, including the Saudis, are going to get in there and they're going to say, we still don't like what you're doing. And he's going to tell them it's not what they think. And he's going to, of course, be lying to them.
I want to make it clear, because the situation in Yemen that we saw with the Saudis flying airstrikes to get rid of the Houthi rebels, and now there's a little bit break for them to run a humanitarian mission, which I understand will be part of, to get people out of the way of what's going on over there. That's a proxy war with the Saudis and the Iranians, because it's an Iran-backed Houthi rebel movement over there against the Saudis. So I want to put that as the backdrop.
Kind of winning, standing on the side winning.
But imagine the situation where we are negotiating with the Iranians while the Iranians are in effect in this proxy war against our ally, the Saudis.
And then the Saudi king decides, I'm not coming. I'm not coming to your summit.
He's thinking to himself, what is Obama up to here? Which side is Obama on? Then they look at.
Here's one other piece of news that I think it bears on this. What the Saudis and the government of UAE had said was they want a treaty like the NATO treaty that would commit the United States to go to war on their behalf should there be conflict in the Middle East. So far, the Obama administration has said no dice to that. I suspect the Saudi king was saying, look, if you're not prepared to commit yourself fully and totally to your allies, why should I extend myself?
All right, I want to tell people, if they are just tuning in, they're going to see those words on the screen, the Saudi King Salman to skip Camp David summit. Real quickly, Pat, put this back into the context that people need to know and how serious this is.
Well, this is serious because the Saudis and others, particularly the Saudis, have been upset what we did in Syria, how we have not been supporting the anti-Iran forces for a long time, how we've been doing this. And I'll tell you, it goes back now to the fact that this region is right on the cusp of what could be explosive.
It goes to the Cairo speech, Obama's first big
all those years ago.
Yeah, because what did he do? He pulled the plug on our best Arab ally, Mubarak, the Egyptian government. He brought the Muslim Brotherhood out of the shadows and legitimized them, and that has sent shockwaves through the moderate Arab world.
All right, I want to go to Twitter now because we've invited people to get in on this conversation. David Wolverton writes, President Obama is making choices that will allow Iran to become a regional nuclear power, and that affects the Saudis, Doug.
And that's exactly right. David Wolverton is exactly correct. The Iranian nuclear ambitions will be fulfilled sooner or later with this deal. Iran is flexing its muscles region-wide. The Saudis see a United States that is uncertain and uncommitted, and you know what? They are taking a pass.
I appreciate you guys being here because this is breaking news. We had just confirmed this. John, you brought it up first, and since we have been able to confirm it on our own, Jeff Kaiser says on Twitter, Shia and Sunni war, Saudis et al., have lost confidence on the U.S. leadership and fear a Sunni outmaneuvering via Iran. It's been done.
Yes, and this is the Twitterer is exactly, the tweeter is exactly right, whatever you are when you do that.
We'll call him Jeff.
We'll call him Jeff because I didn't catch his name, but Jeff's right. And what we have here in all of this is this breakdown regionally. And look, the Iran deal, we have the Democrats in the House writing a letter, signing a letter, basically sending a message, we don't care what the Senate does, we're going to support Obama's veto. The politics of this are going to get hairy now, because as the region breaks down further, it's not just
we look weak and divided, don't we?
And the Democrats look like they are going to own who lost China. They keep this up.
Eileen Payne writes on Twitter, maybe the king won't come because he does not trust our president. Real quickly, does this move the line and get us any closer to seeing a war situation, Doug, in the Middle East?
Absolutely.
I don't even want to utter it, but it's kind of unavoidable.
Yes, it does. It suggests that the entire region is getting more and more unstable. The tweeters are right. We don't know where the American president stands. And by the way, there's been no mention of...
Why don't we know? Why don't we know?
Because we don't know where he stands or what he's committed to, and there's been no mention of Israel, Harris.
And they are Saudi Arabia and Egypt. This is the other big news that's not being discussed. They are in a virtual de facto alliance going on. The Israelis, the Egyptians, the Jordanians, and now the Saudis.
Without the United States.
Without the United States. They're going to fight for their own interests.
Breaking news about the White House and the King of Saudi Arabia not coming to take part in this very critical summit as this deal with Iran is being looked at in our own Congress. By the way, the House will look at the amendment to get involved and weigh in. The Senate already has passed that. This is a big week with regard to the deal in Iran. No doubt we'll be talking more about it.
Whether or not this president has just totally lost any ability to affect or lead in the world.